So initially this was really what I wanted to do, replace my income, which was around about $1,000 a month. It was actually £800, right? But I've converted it just so everyone understands exactly how much it was. So let's go through the formula. What do you need to do to actually get there and build that grand a month business? So the first thing you need to do, and this is so important, please don't do anything before you start doing this, is learn the basics. You have to understand the fundamentals of Amazon before you get going. The absolute core things, the minimum viable knowledge you have to have before you go out there and take action. Okay, so I'm going to teach that to you briefly now. Also in the link below, in the description, there's a load of links which are going to lead you to loads of my content, free content like my fast start guide, which goes over this stuff in a little bit more detail. I thought I'd give you a quick roundup now, so then we can proceed, teach you how to use these basics and get to that $1,000 a month mark. So the first thing you actually need to do is understand what kind of products to buy to send into your account. Okay, so there's only really two things you need in any product to make it viable to sell in your account. This is what they are. You need it to be profitable, whatever you're buying, and you need it to sell within a decent amount of time. Okay, any product that has these two elements is a good product to sell on your account. So how do we figure out whether a product is going to make you money and is going to sell in a decent amount of time? Well, it's pretty simple. To figure out if a product is profitable, you can use an app like Profit Bandit, which you can get on your smartphone, and you just scan the barcode of any product in a retail store, clearance section or whatever, and it will tell you the profit you'll get after Amazon's fees and everything if you sell the product on Amazon. Okay, so instantly there you know whether this stuff is going to make you a profit. Or if you're searching for products online, like searching at e-commerce stores and stuff like that to find products to sell, then you can use Amazon's Fba Calculator, and this will give you a breakdown of all the fees Amazon charges you to sell on their platform and tell you the profit after each sale. Okay, so that's how you figure out the profit. How do you figure out whether products are actually going to sell and not sit around in Amazon's warehouse and sell quickly? Well, that's slightly more complicated, but still, once you get the grasp of the concept, it's actually pretty simple. So you need to understand something called Amazon's best seller rank, or BSR. What Amazon's BSR is basically, it's like a ranking system for every product in each category on Amazon, right? Each category has a different ranking system. Any product that has a bestseller ranking of #1 is the #1 bestseller in that particular category, right? So usually it will be doing between 300, 400, 500 sales a day. It'll be a very high performing product. Now there's around about 20 million products in some categories actively selling on Amazon. So if you imagine even all the way down to say 100,000, if it's 100,000 bestseller rank, that product's still pretty high up if you look at how many products there are on the whole leaderboard. So we can use this bestseller ranking to understand a little bit about how often the product sells, right? Now, without getting into too much detail, here's something I want you to do. Take away this number, 30,000. Now, if a product has a bestseller ranking of less than 30,000, we can actually deem it as being a very, very solid selling product on Amazon, regardless of the category, whatever category it's in. If the bestseller ranking right now is 30,000, and this thing will fluctuate, it'll go up and down, but if it's 30,000 right now, you can bet it's probably quite a good seller. Okay, in fact, if it's less than 100,000, still probably going to sell pretty fast. If it's less than 1 million, it's probably going to sell quite fast in some categories, but just to be safe, let's aim for products that have a bestseller ranking of less than 30,000. Usually you can assume these products are going to sell at least within a couple of weeks, right? So if you buy 5 of these products, they'll probably sell within a month or something. So if we can do this, figure out the profit, figure out whether the product's going to sell quickly, we know we've got good stock. Okay, so these are the basics. This is how you figure out what products to send into your account. How do you find these products? Well, there's retail arbitrage. You can go into stores, clear the shelves of the clearance section, make sure you're analysing each product to make sure it's meeting these criteria, and then buy it and send it into your account. Or you can go on online stores and have a look online, any e-commerce store you could think of. If you're in the US, then Walmart, Sears, Target, Costco. If you're in the UK, places like Asda, Tesco's, any toy store, anywhere where you can buy things will have products that are selling for cheap. And on Amazon, in some cases, they'll be selling for more money. Go have a look, do a bit of comparisons, and you'll find some examples. So that's the basics, right? So what do you do once you've got to grips with all this stuff? You understand how it works. What's the next step? Well, let me make it nice and clear for you. Rather than overcomplicating everything and trying to think about how to make, $1 million on Amazon, what I want you to do is focus on this. Focus on making your first dollar. That's all you've got to do, okay? Rather than thinking so big that your goals become too lofty for you to take any action, just focus on creating your first dollar. Send something in to your account. Now, if you don't know how to do that, again, click the link below in the description. We'll take you to my Fast Start guide, teach you exactly how to do all this stuff. But once you've got that, implement it and earn your first dollar. Make your first sale. Now, the reason this is so unbelievably powerful, once this has happened, it's like a light bulb goes off in your head. You start to think to yourself, man, Ollie wasn't lying. This isn't a massive scam. People aren't just, BSing about this whole Amazon thing. I can actually make money. If you can make $1, you just need to do that several times until you make $1,000, right? So take some products, buy them and send them into your account. If it doesn't work the first time, if you don't see sales, buy more and send them into your account. Most of my students make sales with their first shipment. So just spend whatever you can throw away, $20, $30, just to see if this experiment will work. I promise you, once you've made your first dollar, you will not go back. This thing becomes addictive and you just want to scale it and make even more money. Question is, how do you get from making $1 to making $1,000? In order to make any business consistent, and what usually is the difference between businesses that succeed and businesses that fail, is their systems. You need things happening over and over again in your business that create profit. Okay? The definition of a system is something that happens repeatedly to create a desired result. Okay, so the desired result in business is to make you an income, right? To make you a living. So we need things happening over and over and over again to make the system so the money keeps coming in. If you can get a handle on that, you have a successful business, right? So once you've made your first dollar, all you've got to do is the stuff you did to make that dollar and send in the shipment to Amazon to see those sales happen. You've got to do that again and again and again. Now, what I recommend is you focus on sending in one shipment of stock into your FBA account every week. If you can just focus on that, nothing too complicated. Don't think about importing from China yet. Don't think about doing anything elaborate. Just focus on sending in one shipment, one box of stock into your account every week. You've got a system, something that's happened repeatedly to create a desired result, which is dollar, right? It's happening. If you can do that, you have got a successful business. So the question is, how do we get this up and add a couple of zeros onto it to get to the $1,000 mark? Well, I've actually got a little formula for you. Let me show you. So, remember we talked about that number just now, 30,000. This number represents what I would consider to be a decent seller, okay? Decent seller, something that sells really quite well. In fact, to be honest with you, in most categories, products that have a bestseller rank of under 100,000 are also decent sellers. Okay, so if you can just send in 50 decent sellers in your shipment every week, so 50 sellers every week, then what will happen is, number one, you'll have a consistent income coming in. But number two, let's say each one of these gives you $5 profit each. Okay, in my business, the average profit across all of my sales, like some is very high, some is very low, but on average is around about £5. But let's just say dollars for now. Okay, if you can send in 50 decent sellers per week, each one of those sells for on average $5 profit. If you take into account the ones that don't sell, then you'll be sending in 200 per month, right? 50 a week, 200 a month. 200 sales of $5 each per month is $1,000 a month. So this is what you have to focus on getting up to. Okay, now first of all, you're not going to be sending in 50 products. You probably just send in 5 or 10, right? And you can start building it up. Send in 5 or 10 products. Make sure they're varied. So don't send in 5 of the same products necessarily. Send in, a few different ones just to make sure you're spreading the risk. And then when you make your sales, you make your profit, reinvest the money, and then spend the same money again. Send in another, say 15 products, and then the following week 20, and build up to where you can send in 50 products every week. If you can do this, you can make $1,000 a month, and it really is that simple. Start by making $1, then start to build systems in your business once you feel really confident that this stuff works, and build up to this point. So the great thing about this is a very simple formula. I mean, if this works for you in your business, actually the figures are exactly the same as this, which isn't always the case, right? Some people's figures are different to others. You might have to send in 60 products because your average profit's a little bit lower. It doesn't really matter, right? As long as you know what your numbers are. If you want to earn more money, say you want to earn $2,000 a month, you can just put more fuel into this engine to make everything bigger, right? So instead of sending in 50, you send in 100 products per week, and so on and so forth. So this works because the e-commerce business model and the Amazon model is scalable. You can send in more products, you make more money because the traffic's there, the customers are there and everything. It just works when you send in more products. Now, you might get to the point where finding and sourcing all of these products through arbitrage and things is getting a little bit tedious. Putting things into boxes is getting a little bit more tedious. You've got more money, you've got more leverage now because you've built up from making your first dollar to building a pretty awesome income. Now you might be thinking, well, I want to move on to some better strategies and automate things a little bit better. And so when we're thinking about that, when we're thinking about how to get from say $2-3 grand a month up to like 10, 20, then that's a whole different discussion. We'll have to move on to some other strategies, use more automation, and really it's something for another video. But I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope this has broken it down. Just go out there, focus on making your first dollar first. Make sure you understand the basics. Click all the links in the description below to get a good grip on this stuff. I've got a few courses and things you can take for free just to get to know this stuff. And then send something in, make your first dollar, and then build your system to make this business generate whatever you want it to generate. Thanks so much for watching. Implement this stuff. It really works, I promise you. And whatever you do, keep believing.